Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Beach FM, it's magnificent to welcome back to the program Duane Emeny of Air Chathams. Duane, good evening.
Very good evening, John. How are you?
I'm excellent, and I imagine you're looking forward to a bubble between Australia and New Zealand, because while you don't fly to Australia, I imagine that must mean traffic for Air Chathams and the other carriers once those tourists arrive from the West Island.
Yes, the magical bubble. Yeah, I think it would have a very positive effect on Air Chathams in terms of keen people in the regions wanting to connect internationally via Auckland. We're certainly seeing a reasonable drop-off of traffic because that's not an option anymore. Something your listeners may not know is actually we do fly to a little part of Australia. We fly to Norfolk Island. And,
of course. Isn't that a delightful place, by the way?
Gorgeous place.
I just love it, and I love the people. Do they still get out and wave to the aircraft when they're departing, and actually when they're coming in as well?
Yep, they do. It's the way I look at it, it's like the Chathams but warmer.
Yes, it is. Oh, but it's such a special place, and as you say, part of Australia. I don't think they're all that happy about being part of Australia, some of them, but that's a different story. I've forgotten that you flew to Norfolk. Now that's something that everyone should do, should take the opportunity as such a treasure of a place. But you also fly to the Chathams, don't you? And I was thinking about the reason I mentioned the bubbles is that we have got our own inbuilt bubble already, and you're flying it between the mainland and the Chathams.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we're getting an incredible amount of interest, actually. I was talking just this week to a number of our number of the accommodation providers out on the island, and they're finding that their winter bookings are flooding in, which is reasonably unusual when you've got an island in the middle of the roaring 40s.
Yes.
But yeah, there's just so many people in New Zealand at the moment that can't go anywhere. There's a bit of pent-up frustration. They want an overseas trip, and at the moment the Chatham Islands is about the best you can get if you want to get on an airplane, fly over a reasonable body of water. So and more to the fact actually that it's just one of those destinations where I think a lot of people they know about it, but and it's always on the list, and now is the opportunity for them to get out there and experience it, and which is great. It's great for our island economy too. That we've put a lot of work into tourism over the last 10 years, and it's great to see people being able to get out there and experience that. It's really positive.
And it must be good for the islands as well, because the more of the mainlanders who get across there, the more the understanding will be of the issues, because it's not always simple on Chatham Islands, and the price of diesel and all that kind of thing. It's a matter of getting a better appreciation of the issues of the islands, and that's got to be good in the long term, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, bang on. It's I don't think people realise just how different it is, and the way of life out there, and what you have to adjust to. You nailed it with diesel prices. I mean, everything. You see what you're paying at the pump in on the Kapiti Coast in Wellington, and then you might as well times that by 3 or 4 by the time it gets freighted out to the Chathams, and of course the island. They've experimented with some options. There's a lot of wind out there, but it was hard to store the energy, so the wind farms didn't work. But they are looking to get that back and going again. But otherwise, at the moment, the entire island's powered by a big diesel generator, which obviously isn't a very cheap way of doing, powering the island, and so there's a huge cost there for the residents. There's no cell phone connection, so I think a lot of us living in the city would find that as a good thing, but it means there's some limitations. So it is. There are a lot of challenges living out there, but there's also a lot of positives, and a lot of those things are reasons why Chatham Islanders choose to live where they do.
Yeah. Oh, it is a magnificent place. It is completely different to anything else you find in the wider New Zealand, and I absolutely thoroughly recommend it for anyone who's considering it and saying, well, perhaps we should have a go, give it a go, because it is just extraordinary. And I know the way to get there. It's called Air Chathams, and yes, indeed, and you've been doing that run for quite some time, haven't you, Duane?
Yeah, 36 years this year, I believe.
Crikey. And I suppose there must have been the occasional time when even Air Chathams could not make the trip.
Oh, I mean, yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, fog's a problem on the Chathams. You get a northerly or an easterly come through, and the whole place just clags out, really, and nothing's coming in or out. But again, it's just one of those things. You get used to it when you live there. And of course, the residents are pretty used to getting that phone call saying, "Hey guys, it won't be flying today, but come back tomorrow, same time, we'll try again."
All right, okay. And the place that you can try again, of course, is Air Chathams. Been great, Duane. Thank you so much for indulging me. We started off with Bubbles and we ended off in the Chathams. Possibly that is the place to land anyway. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated here on Beach FM.
Thanks very much, John. It's always good to chat. Cheers.
106.3 Beach FM.